I'm Christian, and I'm one of the USG's Crisis for Aisle Monk 31, and I'm here today with Devika Mehta, the Crisis Director for the Knights Templar Committee, and Liz Pecan, the Chair for the Knights Templar Committee. So just to start off, guys, this is a really interesting sort of topic, especially for people who like history or just knights or stuff like that. But I'm curious, what interested you about this topic?
Well, it's like you mentioned, like it's the fun kind of part of the ancient history that everybody loves. It's the whole Da Vinci Code era of mystery and intrigue, and that's always fascinating. And so that's kind of why I wanted to get into this committee also, because historical committees are always fun because you think they'll end up one way and then they end up drastically different.
Great. Liz?
Yeah, so I think that a lot of those things are really, really similar. I really enjoy the historical committees. I did Papal Conclave one committee ago, and that was super fun. You get to do all of the fun props and costumes and the really adventurous things you don't really see in very typical committees. And I think that all of the, the tricks we have up our sleeve are going to be awesome for the delegates overall.
Great. So Devika, in terms of, what you want to see in your ideal delegate in Crisis, what are you looking for?
So, for Crisis delegates, ideally they want to use some of their portfolio powers to influence what's happening in committee, like say take some action here or send an army here, etc., or use financial interests in this case, and somehow build up a scenario that will ultimately influence something in committee. So we'll bring up a scenario that happens as a result of one delegate's actions, and that would be really interesting and exciting if we can get a lot of delegates to really influence what's happening in committee.
Great. And Liz, on the committee side of things, what are you looking for?
So I'm definitely looking for a delegate that can incorporate all of our crisis tracks and really make them into actions within committee itself, and then incorporate them into their directives, into their conversations with other delegates, and really in moderated caucuses and unmoderated caucuses, make sure that the work that the crisis team is doing is really put into place in committee itself. And then obviously maintaining strong relationships with other delegates in the committee room as well.
Great. Alright, so just to close out the interview, I gotta ask, what is, in the spirit of the adventure that the Knights tend to perpetuate, what is the most adventurous thing you've ever done?
So this summer I took a trip to Colorado and I hiked up to the Continental Divide, and probably the scariest moment for me was I was halfway up this really snowy part of the mountain. It was a 45-degree angle, and you had to crawl on your knees and hands to get across it. And then there was a part where I felt I was slipping, and I looked below, there were these jagged rocks, and so somebody had to coach me not to fall down. So that was probably the scariest and most adventurous thing I've done.
Alright, great. Liz?
I went bungee jumping off of Victoria Falls, so in between Zambia and Zimbabwe off of the bridge there. So that was definitely the most adventurous thing I've done.
Wow. So, as you can tell, we have a couple of great senior staff for this committee, and we look forward to seeing you at Aisle Monk 31. Thanks.